Thank you, Ms. Dunn, for being with us today. Can you explain to me what has been the status? Well, let me ask first. What's been the status since between 1991 and up to the time of your issuance of a SNR, significant use rule, on asbestos? How's that differed from what you're doing now?
There was not a significant movement to bring historic uses back to the United States. However, we took action on the SNR to ensure that that could not occur.
Okay, and so have you been approached by people who want to continue to use asbestos or to use it in ways that would require the development of a significant new use rule? Is that what?
We have not been approached right now by entities that intend to commence these asbestos uses.
Okay, so what would be examples of asbestos-containing goods that you'd expect would be eligible for the case-by-case approval?
Some of the historic uses that we address in the SNR are 18 categories. They include building insulation, asbestos, vinyl, floor tile, roofing tiles. Those are some of the examples of products that historically contained asbestos that are not currently being imported or brought into the United States, and we would want to ensure that before that ever occurred, EPA would have a chance to review that.
And it's my understanding that in each of those uses, substitutes have developed for asbestos that have been effective. Is that your understanding as well?
I'm not aware of the full range of substitutes, but I know that roofing is occurring today without imported asbestos roofing tile.
Right. How would your evaluation of a significant new use rule application be affected by the availability of substitutes in the economy?
Well, certainly through our chemicals program, we are always looking for new chemicals. We have an entire new chemicals program where innovators bring forward new chemistries. They ask us to review them. That's another one of our authorities under TSCA. We review new chemicals. We determine if any restrictions need to be placed on them. We don't say that every new chemical is air quote greener than an existing chemical, but in many cases, the new chemistries coming forward are shorter lived in the environment, more focused in how they act in the environment, and can, in some cases, be greener.
Let me be a little bit more focused. So let's take building insulation, which has been the big use over time and from which a lot of the friable asbestos has come. That's not the standard anymore. People are using different materials for building fire retardants and for insulation. Those are available in the economy, and then someone comes to you, they want to do a new product for that use with asbestos in it. You have to evaluate the risk, right? And so is part of the evaluation of the risk for the new product the fact that it's really not needed because the need for it has been met by other substitute products?
We look at a full range of factors under the law as to whether or not that product can come to market. Most of our review is around the safety of the product. We do look to see if there are other products in the marketplace that can give us a sense of risks, but EPA is not in the role of making decisions about the marketplace.
Okay, can you describe for me what the analysis is generally behind a significant new use SNR application?
Right, so as an application comes in, we have a team of risk assessors, risk evaluators. We have
Health risk assessors.
Health risk assessors, yes. Exposure experts. They look at all the conditions of use. They not only look at what that applicant says they want to do with that chemical, but they also have to, under TSCA, look at other reasonably foreseeable uses.
Right.
So we have to look out and determine if there are any other uses that maybe the applicant has no intent of using the chemistry in that fashion, but we look at the other ways it could be used. We assess any of those risks as well. Then we come back and we determine if there are requirements that need to be put in place to mitigate risk.
And how do you determine what an acceptable level of health risk is?
Well, it depends on the chemical, but we look at the hierarchy of controls. So we look at how are largely the workers coming into contact with the chemistry? So we look at ventilation, we look at how.
I'm sorry, I've got 3 seconds left. Let me just tell you my concern. We can take it
Okay.
up later, which is that you could decide that you're willing to take a certain amount of risk if it's a product that's necessary to meet some need in the economy. What I'd like to hear is that, given that there's other ways to meet that need in the economy, you would take a hard line on asbestos in evaluating what risk is acceptable. And I yield back.